real reason to wait. There's not so many of you that we can't manage. Yeah. So that really Cork, so pretty, so pretty. So I'm Jessica Dicko. I work in the Center for Global Education. I manage the Cork program. I also manage Japan, Greece, and Australia. Those are just some things about me. I am the person who does the interviewing. I'm the virtual mentor, so I also do the orientation, and there is a 1-credit Canvas course that you are going to be doing while you are in Ireland, and that's with me. So all those things are true, and you get to know more. So Cork. There you are. Let's introduce you first, and then we'll go back.
Okay, my name is Jazz Olson. I'm a senior here at St. Ben's, psychology major, gender studies minor, and I studied abroad spring of 2025, so last semester.
And this Jazz doing all sorts of fun things, which we'll come back to each of those pictures if you want. Okay, so Cork is sort of, you probably know Dublin right up there, and that's where a lot of people fly in. But you can't fly into Cork, it's an international airport, although only to Europe, right? So if you fly in from the States, you're probably going to fly into Dublin or fly into Europe and then arrive in Cork. It's pretty easy to get back and forth. You really like the train. Some people like the bus. They're a little less expensive, but you don't get to get up and move around. It's not a small city, but it doesn't feel huge, right? It's a very walkable space.
Yeah, definitely.
Anything to add about Cork?
It's a pretty simple, like 30-minute walk to a grocery store, 5-minute walk to a quick like convenience store. Campus is totally walkable. It's kind of vague at some points, but the majority of the buildings that you need are all kind of like right next to each other, so it's nice.
This is January to May, just as programming, so you start before we start classes back here on campus. Then you wrap up roughly the same time now with the semester moved back. So, and you live in apartments. So the one thing is we're not embedded, you're not in a dormitory, and we'll talk a little bit more about this, but you're in apartments that are student housing specifically, but you'll be living in them with other international students, Irish students, and we'll talk about that when we get to those pictures. There's Jazz. So there we are at UCC, University College Cork. It's a beautiful campus. It's in the center of a city though, so pieces of it are a little bit away because it's in a city, right? So it's a little spread out. It's not quite as contained like we are here, but it has all the things you could want and you would expect of a normal university. I think the size of the University of Minnesota in terms of population, right? It's got graduate school and medical school with it, and so it isn't quite as small as we are. Are there any things you'd like to point out, do you think, Jazz?
They have a really great library. I really, really liked their library. And it doesn't feel like it's a giant like U of M school. It feels like kind of contained throughout the semester, and then like you'll kind of have like moments of where you're like, oh yeah, this is like thousands and thousands of students here, but you don't get that kind of experience every day. So that's pretty nice. So like if you're nervous about like big school, it's not like crazy in your face.
They don't have dining hall or meal plans like we have, right? But they do have some places you can buy food on campus. There are certainly restaurants around campus accommodating student budgets. You can also, as you're roughly from the center of campus, a 10-minute walk to your house, and you can easily go back and cook or make food depending on what your budget allows. The gym is 3 floors. It's got all the things.
It's got rock wall, really nice lifting, like free weights area, aerobic area, stretching area, like lower level impact weights, swimming pool, gyms, outdoor athletic complexes. Just kind of got it all.
Yeah, and you get that as part of being a student, obviously you can go there, you need your student ID. There are fitness classes, do you have to pay for those?
Yeah, you can sign up for fitness classes through like the Mardike, but you do have to pay for those out of pocket.
And classrooms, so class sizes range between like 6 and 250. It's the biggest I've seen. So they vary quite a bit depending on the class. Not all of them are that large, and some are quite small. Not everybody goes to every class. In terms of living, we'd be living in Brookfield. And since I have never lived in Brookfield, I will let you describe that.
Okay, so Brookfield is 8 to 4 person apartments. You'll probably be placed in like an 8-person apartment. Yeah. And it's all 8-bedroom, 2-bathroom, and then you have your kitchen and living room. And then a reception, so they're standing by reception. That's kind of what a typical bedroom looks like. You get your own bedding, so that's really nice. You don't have to like carry over bedding or buy any. Yeah, it's pretty nice. I was a rare exception. I lived with all CSB SJU students. But there were like other SJU students who lived with like international students, Irish students. It's kind of just a place for anyone who's trying to find housing to go to UCC. So you'll get like a wide variety of people who apply.
And I can say that in the future, we won't have all CSB SJU apartments. It's just an interesting year. Trying to think what else. So there's security. So you come through security. They will check your ID in the evening at the gate. You have to know who you are. Right on campus, there is the coffee shop and a quick convenience store. There is a little workout facility but you have to pay for it. So most students go to the park.
Yeah.
As it's free to go to the UCC facility. And you can use it as your warm-up when you're cool with the kids lift a walk. I'm trying to think if there's other pieces. They are arranged generally like a townhouse. There's usually 2 floors. Everyone has their own room. So 8 rooms, 2 bathrooms, 1 on each floor. And all of your own cooking.
And you do have to pay for laundry. So you have to go down to like the workout facility they have in Brookfield, and then you can like buy washer coins and dryer coins. I ended up buying washer coins and then air drying all of the clothes.
The fairly typical solution for cost savings, I hear from most students. In terms of the academic program, we'll talk a little bit momentarily about classes, and I'm happy to pull up those pages and show you more. There are 2 classes that you're required to take. The 1 credit course with me that is an asynchronous online campus course. Okay. And then the other one is an experience where you go to an Irish speaking area. It's a 4-day experience. So that's all it is. It's 4 days. And you get to go and have this experience, and then you write a reflection at the end. And I will let you talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So you go to the Gaeltacht Irish speaking area, which they call like Anrin, and it's really fun. You get to stay at a school where they teach all their classes in Irish. And they give you meals, they have excursions for you, and you get to meet a lot of fun people because it's a class that's open for everyone and targeted toward international students. So it's typically like your CSB SJU cohort and then extra international students who are also interested. I met a lot of fun people in those 4 days, and I had a lot of fun like learning Irish because you do Irish classes. And then they also just take you around the area and teach you a lot about the history. So like we went to Ardmore and learned all about like St. Declan and like his histories there with St. Patrick. And we learned about the Irish potato famine, which was pretty cool. So yeah, I thought it was one of the best parts of the program.
Some people lived with host families too, right?
Yeah, some people did stay
Some
in
people lived in the dorms.
houses. Yeah, I think, yeah, I was in a house. One of the locals, they like host students and I was with them, but
Yeah. And then the rest of the courses, you have to have a minimum of 16 credits on this program, but the rest of the courses, after you've fulfilled those two credits, are open to you. So this program, you can get an AE, you can get a TI, you can get an HE, you can get an SW, you can get an NW. You can do most things. You cannot get a CS. So, do you know what a CS is? Okay, I'm just trying to make sure. You did the CI probably last year, that cultural identity one, and then there's the cultural systems course. If you study abroad with a CSBSJU faculty member, that is a course that they teach abroad on all the programs where there is a faculty member, but we don't have a faculty member going on this program, and so that one, there are no courses at UCC that marry up all the things that we have to marry up to fulfill the CS. So that is the one limitation. But they've got business, they've got computer science classes, they've got biology classes, they've got history, lots and lots of classes. And we can take a look at that in a second if that's what people are really interested in. So many, 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 many choices. Did you find it hard to pick?
Yeah, I did, because there's so many. It's like, what do I need? What can I do?
Yeah.
What fits? Yeah. They're all great. Most of all are great, yeah, I'm not sure.
Some of the ones in calculus don't look good to me.
Yeah, I'm taking chemistry, but
that's because I don't. But I was an English major. The English classes look really amazing, so do the history. This is actually the courses. So maybe you have already found and maybe not, but if you go into the page, right, where you can apply, you find out program information where you can apply to the program. You'll see that there's a anyways, you see academics, it's circled in blue. If you click on that, it'll bring you to two links. One is our coursework database. Also, if you go in My CSB SJU and type in coursework database, one of the first things that comes up is a link to this page. So that's easy enough to find. And then there's also a link to the UCC page. So modules are courses. Courses are majors if you're in Ireland. So they have a slightly different terminology for those things. We have many courses already pre-approved that you can look through and see which ones, like if you need to get an artistic expression, human experience, they're all listed here. You could also search by department to see if any of your department courses have been pre-approved, if there's anything that would fulfill your major when you're abroad. For example, if it says elective, then it means it's already been approved for credit for your major. This one would not probably be approved for an upper division credit, but it would be approved for credit if you just need credit in your major. If it says check with chair, then we have a different process. There are many more courses at UCC than there are on this list. So every year, students find new courses, either nobody's ever wanted to take before for whatever reason, or they're a brand new course and we don't have an existing approval in the database. Then they message me and we go through the process to get it approved. You do have to go through the process because not every course can be approved because some of their offerings just simply don't line up with the classes that we offer. Questions?
So like when does that process like take place if you're trying to get a course approved?
If you were going to Cork, say you were going to Cork this spring, you would be doing it right now. So that's the process that I'm going through right now. So we work at the same time as registration, even though UCC's registration is later, usually over Thanksgiving break. Turns out no Thanksgiving in Ireland, so not an inhibiting factor for them. But we do try to get it work through some of those processes ahead of time. So if you had questions, they won't be urgent ones because people won't be checked. All right. These are pictures from various places. So there's lots of different topics. This is only a small list, and I will pull up the database so you can see. But what were some of the courses that you took?
I took social psychology, art history. I got my upper Theo. I did fundamentals of ecology for my natural world. How many is that? 3?
Yeah. Did your art history cover for your gender studies?
Yeah, art history was for gender studies. There's another one that I took.
Did you take a psych?
I took a psych for social world, and then I did a sociology class for my gender studies. Trying to remember.
You probably only took that.
I might, yeah.
Yeah. Pretty sure.
Yeah, they were all kind of scattered throughout campus. But they were all really good classes. Definitely set up in a different format than CSB SJU, but still very much manageable.
Some of these photos, one of them's Blarney Castle, but some of these photos are fun. There's a particular class that just a lot of students tend to take that is an archaeology course, and it has a couple like day-long excursions, so you can explore all the ruins and archaeological things. Turns out, if you dig in Ireland, you probably found something. There's like 30,000 plus castles, so everywhere. People have been there a long time. It's not that big. Okay. Question. Group excursion. So there are 2 excursions that are built in to this program. The course, the 4-day course that's covered. So if you're looking at it independently, it says that there's a cost, but it is a required course, and the fee is covered by CSB SJU for you to be on that. So it's a 4-day experience. And then the Ring of Kerry tour is also covered by your program fee. And it is a 2 full day, 1 overnight. So we talked about the Ring of Kerry.
Yeah, the Ring of Kerry was gorgeous. So they basically take you around one of the peninsulas, and they'll take you to Dingle, Clarny, Inch, yeah, we went to Inch Beach. I think those are kind of the
highlight.
heavy hitters, and then you gotta also just stop along the road, and your tour guide will be like, "Yeah, so over there is something really cool. You guys should go look at it." And they're like, "He'll give you." Yeah, so you basically kind of just go around this like peninsula and see the sights and the beauty of it, and you get to learn super cool fun facts about Ireland, and it's awesome.
So that excursion is exclusively for CSB SJU students. So it's a bus just for you all to go and have this experience with one guide. I have yet to hear negative things about that, other than it's raining,
Yeah.
which turns out happens a lot in Ireland, no matter when I plan it. So it's all part of the experience.
You can't escape the rain in Ireland.
And some fun. And some wind. Yeah. Questions about this? We had excursion questions. So these are the 2 that are built in. Otherwise, it's independent travel. Yes.
At what point in the semester is the 4-day course typically on?
It's
Very,
and it's kind of later. I do remember kind of waiting for like info on that. So you kind of get over there, and then you have to be prepared to like take time out of your schedule for that. You'll get dates pretty quick, and then you can kind of just like adjust from there. But you do like I missed some classes for that one, which isn't a big deal, but
there is no
typically
attendance policy for courses, so it is generally has not been problematic.
Yeah, and I had my upper Theo class, he did attendance, but I just emailed him ahead of time. It's just like if you're gonna miss a class, just reach out. And they're normally pretty understanding about it.
It's around March.
Yeah.
It has we, I don't know the dates even for this coming year yet. This is how that works. It decided a little bit in conjunction with when Easter lands and when the other holidays in the semester land. And so I can't say, but it's usually March, maybe early April. I think would be the latest. And the Ring of Kerry tour happens like mid-February. So like I think this year it's gonna be the 14th to the 15th. So yeah.
Would you say it's hard to, or easy or hard to travel like outside to other countries in Ireland?
It's very easy.
Very easy.
Yeah, there's like the Cork airport, you can take the bus to the Cork airport and you can get like a $20 flight to like almost wherever. I think what did we do? We did a €20 flight to Edinburgh. And that was probably our like cheapest flight. But they also go cheaper too. You can probably find it cheaper.
Or maybe more expensive, but
Also definitely more expensive.
who knows what gas prices will be for them. But yeah, you generally don't have class on Friday. There are some, but very few, and most students don't end up with them. You tend to have more time to travel on weekends. Other excursion question? Okay. Activities, and then maybe we'll do a day in the life.
Okay.
Kind of describe.
Yeah, so let's see. I can speak for the rugby one. That was my team that I played with last semester. As a student there, you get access to clubs and activities. And you need to join like you do here at CSB. They're always really, really excited. Like I reached out before I got there and they're like, yeah, just shoot us a text when you get here. Can't wait to meet you. And I think it was the same with what was it? Frisbee, ultimate frisbee on the other end.
Yep, ultimate frisbee, and we've had people play soccer.
I'm sure if you really wanted to, you could probably try out some Irish sports. So the middle one on the bottom is a GAA pitch. And like the GAA, which is like Gaelic. It's really popular there. People go crazy for it. I went to a few matches, which is pretty fun. And then just some food that I had there. A fun little activity that you find at random historical sites. You always find some kind of gem, like a hidden gem when you go anywhere in Ireland. And then the Marina Market, which is a really popular food hub in Cork City. Literally, like you could eat the best food that you'll ever have there, and just enjoy a good time.
Do you want to run through a typical day in the life of Jazz?
Sure. Okay. I would wake up, immediately breakfast, and then I typically went for a walk because I liked walking around the neighborhood. And then it would be classes on campus. Kind of depended what classes I had that day. I know that my Thursdays were like at campus from sun up to sundown kind of thing, where I was there all day and I didn't get home until late. But then I'd have like another day where it's like one class is free. So I think it depends. Typically got lunch on campus because I liked being on campus. Yeah. Grocery shopping.
How often did you have to grocery shop?
I went roughly like once a week. I went to Little's, which was like a 30-minute walk the opposite direction of city center. That was my way of saving money.
Little's is all these.
Yeah.
In Ireland.
Yeah. Otherwise you could go to like a Tesco, which is slightly more expensive. But still there's a tiny like an express Tesco right by Brookfield, and that's gonna probably be one of the most expensive places you like go to pick up things. So like the 30-minute walk to city center or the bus ride over is pretty worth it for grocery shopping wise.
Speaking of travel, how did you get around?
I walked or took the bus around Cork City.
And did you have a leap card?
I did have a leap card. The leap card was awesome. Because the leap card is your bus card. It's how you get on the bus and how you pay for your trip. When you don't have a leap card, it's like 1 or 2 euro, but then with a leaf card, it drops down to like 60 cents or something like that. So the leaf card is worth it.
Use it on the trains too, can you?
Yes, because they're all connected. It's all through Ireland or Travel for Ireland, I think is what it is. So yeah, you can use your leaf card for like everything. Buy a train ticket, buy a bus ticket, hop on the local bus. Yeah. It's pretty accessible.
Questions about day in the life, because that was some questions people had.
That was very vague, I'm sorry.
How often did you practice for week?
We practiced twice a week, and then we had a couple games. So we won the Tier 2 Cup final while we were there. I have a picture, I think I have a picture of my friends with it. And we had a couple games. Yeah, definitely 2 days a week for practice, and then the occasional game.
So not too.
No, yeah, no, it wasn't crazy. And they're super understanding too. Like if you just shoot a text like, yeah, I can't make it, they're gonna be like, cool, see you next week or see you next time. And then like you can also like reach out. Like my first practice, I rode the bus with another international student because I had no idea how a bus system works since I've always had my own car. So I had to like learn how to take the bus. And then after that I met people on the team and they're like, yeah, I have a car, just hop in, I'll take you over. And then they're always nice and like drop me off.
Is it kind of a track?
Yeah, so the specific rugby field, it's a track. I know there's other sports where it's not as much of a trek because I think they just practice at like the gym. But the rugby fields were.
Well, there you are with your cup.
Yes. So you're my friend Quiva.
Why should they go to Cork?
You should go to Cork because it's like the best city ever. I really don't know how to describe it. It's like life changing, I feel. Just because I had never lived in a big city either. Like Cork has the small city vibes, but then there's also just like as you walk through Cork, you're like, oh, I've never seen that part before. Or like, wow, this is bigger than I thought it was. And there's just a wide variety of people too that you get to meet. I think that was really fun too, because I met a lot of Irish students, but then I also met people from France, Austria, Germany, Japan. Yeah, you meet like a wide variety of people, and there's just so many things you can do too. You never run out of things to do.
And are you going back?
Yes, I am. I'm going back in December, the end of December. I requested from Santa to get tickets back to Ireland.
So just quickly to talk about costs, to move away from some of the fun stuff. We can jump back if you have questions about the fun stuff that I fixed, Jess. So the costs are all up on our website, and if you go to that page where you would go to apply, where you can find the academics, there's also a tab if you look over that says cost and finances that links to this page. Kind of the way to understand these are 26, so not 27 yet, right? We don't have all those costs yet. It is your tuition, just like normal. And then the only fee that goes on your student account is the study abroad program fee. So that's kind of like a course fee, right? That covers your housing and all the excursions and your tuition at UCC. Otherwise, things that you would need to pay out of pocket that kind of happen typically before you leave are purchasing flight. And if you don't have a passport, getting a passport. If you already have that, then you don't need to think about that. You need to be prepared for the visa, which is actually something you will do when you get to Ireland. Ireland has kind of if you win on pre-work on your visa, it's kind of pretty easy as far as visa processes go compared to some of the other ones that people have to go through. This is a pretty easy one. You just do it when you arrive, and our partners UCC really help you walk through that whole process.
UCC will take you through the whole like visa process of like what you should do. You'll help with materials that you need to bring to the appointment. This is pretty simple.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. And then there are costs to think about to budget for while you're on site, right? Did you ever buy any books? Or are they mostly online?
No, I never had to buy any books.
That's mostly, most of it is in Canvas or other.
Yeah, they typically
Other-
just supply it, or like they supply it, or they say go to the UCC and pick it up.
We have supplies there, but you probably won't need that one. Meals, budgeting around meals, whether if you're gonna dine out very often, you might want to up the budget. And if you want to cook, I recommend you don't just subsist on ramen and maybe apples. I don't know, I don't know what that does to you, but probably nothing good. So you can play around with your budget a little bit in that space. Everyone is required to have a cell phone that can make and receive calls off of Wi-Fi, which I think most people agree is pretty valuable these days with traveling and maps and all of the apps. Lovely. And then, sort of your personal expenses, and then depending on how much you want to travel. So some of the way to think about this, just including this personal travel here, is what you might be spending on campus for a semester right now. This is roughly how much you should budget above and beyond for your living expenses to be in Ireland, right? With the flight and the program fee, and then the other additional expenses. Okay. So it's not this, right? It is that, but all of your tuition and financial aid package travels with you. And if you are looking for more support, I do also work on scholarships. So you can absolutely make an appointment to come in and talk to me about what kind of scholarships are available. So there certainly are some. If you're going to do a lot of traveling, you might need to budget a little higher, depending on where you want to go. But all right, tips for success. So this is one of our programs that's slightly different from other programs. Most other programs have a 2.5 GPA. This one, technically UCC says 3.0, but they will allow us to go at 2.85. If that's a concern at all, you can come and talk to me, because there are times if people move your GPA, we have a goal set and we can get up to that point. That's always workable. You're going to need, you think about your application in a holistic kind of process, right? So it's not just one thing. It's not just your GPA. Although for UCC, that is their minimum, so we can't adjust that very much. 2.85 is the lowest it can go. But the rest of it is you're going to do a resume, you're going to do some essays in the application, you're going to get a reference from a faculty member and a reference from somebody that is not a faculty or somebody you know outside of the classroom, like your supervisor or a coach or somebody along those lines. And then you're going to do an interview, and it's a look at all of that, right? So it's not a single point that's going to outline anything else. Most of the time, if you're writing those essays and really making a case for why do you want to go to Ireland as opposed to going to London or Spain or just staying on campus, those are the kinds of essays that are going to serve you well while you're writing them. So think about, what is the real reason you want to go to that place? The only people who can't go abroad are people that are on probation, either due to disciplinary issues or academic probation at that time. So if something happened your first year because you had a conduct issue in your first semester, we can talk about what that means. We allow for people to be human. Recovery and wiser choices are always what we're looking for, right? We want everyone to go abroad if that's what they want. So our goal is to assist you in getting to that point if that's the thing you want to do. So what I usually advise students is if you, especially if you're gonna come and talk to me about scholarships and things, also go stop by financial aid and say, how would this work if I didn't get any scholarships? What would I need to do? And start with a plan there, and then we just start looking at all the other resources that we can bring to bear on that cost to help make it affordable. Make sure you set up your traveler profile and you can apply. Exciting thing about applying, that might sound exciting, but it will. You can schedule a meeting with a lovely study abroad mentor and talk through more options. If Cork isn't necessarily the one that appeals to you, there's lots of other options. And they can also give you more tips and help you review your application. You can also make an appointment with me if you have specific Ireland questions. I'm happy to help with those. Yes.
Could I open myself up for appointments?
Yes.
I know I'm not a study abroad mentor, but I am the one, so.
Okay. Yeah. And you work in our office.
I do.
So, yeah, I think we should be able to do that. The XPD team, so our career services, they're there to help you create a resume and to do practice interviews when the time comes. So the whole experience hub over there in the library, it's your friend, use it. Application deadline is February 3rd. And then the interviews happen the 4th through the 16th. The notification day is February 17th. Okay. But here's the exciting thing. If you start your application by November 30th, you've entered into the drawing. You don't have to complete it, you just have to start it. You get entered into a drawing to win a waiver of your application fee, which is $300.
That's a nice win.
Now, some people ask, like, what if I change my mind? What if I don't get on the program? What happens to my $300? You get it back. So if you change your mind in the process, let's say you've completed, you've done the interview, but something in your life changes, you have a time period after which you've been accepted on the program, in which you need to commit to the program. And if you withdraw before committing within that time frame, you'll get your $300 back. If you are not accepted on a program for some reason, you get your $300 back, or you can also have a conversation about us about what maybe other program would fit if there was some reason that another program would also be in the window of something you'd be interested in. This is all general. And somebody asked about numbers on this program. So by and large, recent years, we've been hovering around 14 to 18 has been a pretty typical number. 20 is about our cap. Any questions? Do you want to see class, Steve? Okay. I am just gonna cease recording then because be jumping